Not a big audience, but maybe we will manage to attract the attention of our guests who are probably in our nice garden now. Thank you, first of all. I hope Yuliia manages to join us quickly. As my colleague already mentioned, we are speaking at this session about the book fairs, and we have amazing speakers, and I would like to briefly introduce you to them. So before Yuliia comes with us, I will start with Desislava. Hello, Desislava. She's from Bulgaria, and she's the president of Bulgarian Book Association. She's publisher herself, and she's heading the local book fair, of course. Here we have Mihai Mitrica. Mihai is from Romania. He's the executive director of Romanian Publishers Association. And I see that Yuliia joined us. Hello, Yuliia. We are very, very happy to have you. Hi. And so Yuliia is the coordinator of International Book Arsenal Festival. So nice to see you again. She's right now in Kyiv, and she's joining from there. And me personally, I will be also speaking as a representative of Georgian Publishers Association about our local Tbilisi International Book Fair. But let's start with Desislava. You have in Bulgaria you need to switch on the. No, I think it's not working. Yeah,
I'm ready. So, do you hear me well? It's very hard to have a session before the lunch. Usually everyone walks like the door and one eye is on going for lunch. But we hope that our session will be interesting for you because we would present some destinations. And if we start with the calendar of book events, we can share that we want to have events nearly throughout the year, starting with the Quest of Books. And this is an initiative that we do in order to promote reading, and it's aimed at children. According to a national study that we have made, children and people in the age before 18 have declining levels of reading for consecutive I would say 20 years now. All the studies are showing that this age group has the most declining levels. So this is why we have events for them. And then comes one of the two big festivals that we do. So in May, June, we do the Spring Book Festival. Since several years, it is outdoors. It used to be at the National Palace of Culture, but we moved it outdoors in order to be next to where people are. And during this book fair, the Spring Book Fair, we also have the literary festival for kids and youth, with a lot of writers attending and with a lot of events that are targeted at a young audience. Another thing that we do is we have a cultural program for every book fair that we do, and it means book signings and meetings with authors, illustrators, etc. So the really big event, and one that you may be interested in, is the Sophia International Book Fair. Usually it is in the beginning of December, together with the Sophia International Literary Festival. What we do, apart from being a book-selling event, one of the biggest in Sofia, with more than 160 publishers from Bulgaria, we invite guests from other countries. Our guests were Romanian colleagues, and we hope that we'll have Georgia this year, and Ukraine, of course. Usually we do have a guest of honor for this book fair, and it is one of the biggest literary and book events in Bulgaria. So these are the two main events. Last year in the Sophia Literary Fest, we had over 115 authors, both foreign and Bulgarian. Foreign authors were more than 40, so it is a well-attended, well-represented event. And if we talk about the events that publishers themselves are organizing, there were more than 70. So what is our ambition? Because we see that currently this needs to be further developed, and we really want to re-establish the international part of the fair, have more international publishers joining us, and have more events for publishers.
Thank you, Desi. And let me ask you how you did in pandemic, because for the book fairs it was really huge challenge. How was it in your case, and maybe you managed to learn even something new on this year?
Of course, pandemic had a really very negative impact on our book events, and we needed to cancel completely the December event in 2020 because there were no way to conduct it. We were happy to have still the spring event because it was outdoors. However, we needed to considerately, we have half of the people attending. Even this December 2021, we have half of the participants compared to previous years. So really heavy decline. What was, I would say, the learning from pandemia, we need to go for hybrid and for online events, and this is the way to expand the audience attending. However, the pandemic had this very negative consequence on the book fairs. On the good sides, the VAT was decreased in Bulgaria, a fight that we were fighting for almost 20 years, and we had the VAT lowered to 9%, which was breath of fresh air for the publishers, and for some of them it was the difference between being on the market and closing doors. So, however, learnings, hybrid and online events, still nothing can compensate the drop in sales. Even the online orders, which actually absolutely dramatically rose, couldn't compensate for the loss of sales.
Thank you, Desi, and I will move to Mihai. Bookfest International Book Fair in Bucharest, please.
Not only in Bucharest, as I told you when we discussed. For those of you who were here this morning when I had my presentation, you perhaps noticed that in Romania we only have around 250 bookshops. Therefore, for a country of 19 million inhabitants, you need to have another way of promoting books aside from this small number of bookshops. So that this is the reason why Bookfest International Book Fair started the local editions in major cities in Romania to be also a sales event, but also a literary festival, some sort of. We have started the book fair in 2006, and from 2012 we have local editions. From the moment that we saw a decrease in the number of bookshops, we thought that it was a good strategy to go with Bookfest outside Bucharest, and we're now in 6 cities, including Chișinău in the Republic of Moldova. I chose to put some pictures while I speak because I think all of us are tired of numbers, but these pictures with people buying books and attending the events look lovely. However, the situation is not that happy in Romania, because publishers do organize this book fair, while the state organizes another book fair, which is in the autumn, and it also has local editions. They do help in some way the book market, but the prices that the state is charging the publishers are compared to ours, even though we don't have the resources of the state, and even though attendance is free of charge in Bookfest. So it's another Romanian paradox that we have to live with. And while they chose to do some hybrid editions, online editions during the pandemic, we thought it was a better idea, and it turned out to be so, not to organize anything in 2020 and 2021. We were on the brink of opening a book fair in Timișoara in 2020, and then the pandemic started. We closed it 4 days before opening, and we canceled it, 4 days before opening. And now the first edition after the pandemic was coincidentally also in Timișoara, and it was a huge success. People are fed up with Zoom, with Skype, with everything, and they just want to see each other, to touch the books, to see the authors, to get autographs, and to have discussions with the authors. The way the public reacted in Timișoara makes me rather optimistic that these events will be successful, at least for the coming months, until we forget whatever happened to us in the last 2 years. War, yeah, it is the big problem right now, but I'm sure that life will eventually be as it used to be, not for the Ukrainians, unfortunately, but for most of us, we will be resuming our day-to-day activities, hopefully.
Thank you, Mihai. Hopefully it happens. And now let's see what's going on in the war zone. Yuliia, are you with us? Because I think that Yuliia has to share a brilliant experience of doing wonderful book fair in Kyiv, which was going to happen in May, as I remember, but of course now it's not possible. But first of all, I think our audience would love to hear what you have done until war and what kind of book fair you were heading.
Thank you, Gvantsa. Do you hear me? Yes, it's okay. Yeah, okay. So thank you, all of you, all the participants, and I'm happy to be with you, at least in this Zoom way. Yes, I want to speak about IBAF, which is International Book Arsenal Festival. I'm coordinating this festival, and we were going to have the 11th edition this coming May. We have a not so big history, only 10 years, and 2 of them are pandemic years, but I really am sure that we are one of the best festivals, literary festivals in the world. Actually, we even have the proof of this as a award of the London Book Festival, London Book Fair, which called us as the best book festival of the year 2019. This festival is not so typical book fair. It actually has the book fair part, but it's a really festival, and we are proud of that, and we are doing a lot of work to have the festival part as well as a program part. Our project is organized by the state institution, State Ukrainian Museum and Art Institution, called called Art Arsenal, or Mistetsky Arsenal, as it called in Ukrainian. And this is a museum, a big cultural complex in the center of Kyiv, which is situated, now you will understand all the irony, in the former military plant building called Old Arsenal. And this is really an old building of the end of 18th century, which now hosts different cultural events and exhibitions. We are doing the art exhibitions, the festivals, and really big art projects. And the Book Arsenal is one of the biggest. The fair part consists of usually 200 participants, which is actually the most active part of the publishing sector of Ukraine. And usually our publishers are really preparing to the festivals with doing a lot of job and editing and publishing over thousands of new titles, especially for the festival. I'm sorry. And this is the fair part. And the festival part consists of 5 days of this book holiday, which we are organizing more than 200 events on the 15 stages on the festival. We have them inside the building of the Old Arsenal. There are 2 floors of 20,000 of the exhibition area. And outside the building in the yard, we also have the one of the stages for the concerts, for the big literary events in the yard. So the festival part consists of different special programs, which usually include exhibitions, include concerts, musical concerts, the literary events on the edge of different arts. We are giving much more attention to the culture of book reading, to the book design, to the illustration part. And this festival part consists of a lot of very different formats of events. All of them are circled over the book. So the idea is to give the audience the feeling that the book is a center of all this festival activity and all this holiday. And all of the people who were lucky enough to be at least once in our festival, all of them are telling about this very special atmosphere of the Book Arsenal. So this atmosphere is really something which we are proud of. And 2 years of pandemic were really difficult as for everybody, for Book Arsenal as well. But we have launched a few projects which really are helpful and were helpful during 2 years of pandemic, and they are helping us even now. The 2 main projects were for the professional audience. One is Ukrainian Literature Rights On, which is the project devoted to the export of rights for Ukrainian books abroad, devoted to the developing of skills of our publishers on selling rights, devoted to the development of the Institute of Literary Agents. And second program is Festival to Festival, which was devoted to the cooperation and launching of the new cooperation between the festivals and between the festival managers from different countries. It was the networking program where we have collected representatives of the biggest and the newest festivals from Ukraine, from different cities, and from different countries, other countries who are doing the book fairs and festivals. And it was the networking program, and this program went from the idea of our team that the festival to festival can give a lot of experience to the audiences of both festivals. And doing our International Book Arsenal Festival, we are not usually counting on the country guest of honor, but we are counting on the festival a guest festival. In this way, we were working, for example, in previous years with different festivals over the world, which were bringing to us their audiences, their authors, and their, developing activities and their book culture. And it was really very interesting and empowering both sides. So this was our idea. So it was 10 years of extreme development, and we were doing our best, and really the team was doing a great job. But now we have a war. Actually, we have a war in our country for the 8th year now. But never the war and the enemy was so close to my house, to the book arsenal premises. Now Kyiv is also one of the cities which is an epicenter, which is the center of the invasion. In the very first weeks, we were really very, very close to the very active battles. Now we have the 47th day of full-scale invasion to my country. And there are huge losses, and they are very, very difficult situations, and a lot of civilians are killed, and a lot of people are injured. A lot of Ukrainian citizens became internally displaced persons. More than 4.5 million people left Ukraine until now. We have a kind of a humanitarian catastrophe now. A lot of civil buildings are damaged and destroyed by weapons, by bombs and missiles. Over 340 schools are destroyed for now. A lot of humanitarian facilities like schools and universities, colleges, academies, libraries, museums, cultural monuments, architectural monuments are destroyed or damaged. The world's largest and most powerful transport aircraft, Maria, was also destroyed. The biggest library in Europe was also destroyed. We have huge losses. A lot of losses were also in the publishing industry. The publishing industry suffers a lot. First of all, my colleagues, a lot of publishing people are in the army or in the voluntary organizations helping to defend our motherland. Ukraine's largest printing facilities are in Kharkiv. It's historically was developed in this way, so maybe you know that Kharkiv is one of the places which with the huge destruction, huge losses inside of the facilities and buildings and also people. 70% of Ukrainian publishers do not have offices until now. They had left to them, and they have no access to their servers, to the warehouses. A lot of books are now without any disposal and without possibility to take them off. Dozens of bookstores are damaged, especially in the territories with the active battles. 25% of bookstores are working now only in the western Ukraine, majority of them. A lot of publishers, authors, translators, editors, all the book people, these fantastic people doing a great job with the book publishing and with the festival management, are now in the army or in the volunteering organizations. So this is the situation until now. The team of the Book Arsenal is in different places. I'm in Kyiv, and I was in Kyiv all this time, and part of the management of the Mistetsky Arsenal also is in Kyiv. A lot of people are disposed and internally displaced together with their families or kids. Part of the team are abroad. Part of the team are in the western Ukraine, but we are working, we are taking part in the events like this one, for example. Thank you for inviting us. We are doing a lot of things, spreading the word about the war and about the book sphere now. We are trying to help our book publishing industry. We are planning events in which we as a Book Arsenal can take part in the nearest future. We don't know when we will be able to organize the next book arsenal, especially in the premises of the old arsenal, but I am sure that the time will come. Here I have 2 more slides on how you can help. Actually, I can speak about this now, Gvantsa.
Yes, that was my next question. First of all, I will just comment that, of course, the second part of your speech, when you described the situation in Ukraine, was really terrifying. But I also want to applaud you personally and all your colleagues being so brave in this situation, to working 24 hours. Anytime I write to Yuliia, to any of other Ukrainian publishers, they are just maybe at home, but they have their home office there and working, always doing everything, not to stop, to go ahead and to find some ways and solutions in this situation, to speak about that the world spoke about, not about only about Ukraine, but about Ukrainian publishing literature. And we're so happy for having you today here. And what you spoke about, especially about the book fair, it's also a brilliant experience, and the concept of which the book arsenal book fair has, and that's why I remember in 2019 it was awarded the London Book Fair Excellency Award. Yes, of course, because this fair it's really special. And my question was, now we are the representatives of different book fairs here, and we have seen what Bologna Book Fair has done, where they had the empty stand of Ukraine, what right now London Book Fair has done, that there was a stand, and your representatives, now it was not empty, luckily. What can we do for you? What the book fairs can do, and what you suggest us to do to support?
I have here the few ideas, and probably we can also brainstorm a few more if we are here, because I hope and I'm sure that my co-panelists, they are doing also great festivals and great fairs in their countries, and we can understand one another very quickly, because we understand the needs of the audiences and the needs of the publishers and the needs of the fairs and the festivals. So up to now, we have a number of initiatives which were started by ordinary people, by ordinary book people. And these initiatives are spreading and helping a lot. For example, one of the fresh initiatives is a so-called network of printing houses for Ukrainian publishers. The printing houses all over the world, especially in the countries where we have a lot of refugees now from Ukraine, they started the initiatives of printing books over the files which were given by Ukrainian publishers, to print books and to give them free to the kids who are living now in their countries. And we have now like spreading network for this initiative, and also we have the donation project who are gathering the donations. The project is led by Ukrainian Book Institute for gathering money for this printing and doing this part of the activity, and it is really huge support. Another thing is that there is a kind of initiative for e-book distribution. There were, especially in the first time, a lot of inquiries to me personally, to the members of the team, or from the companies who are dealing with the e-book distribution over the world, asking for the contacts of our publishers who can be invited to be the members of the distribution companies, of the distribution networks, allowing the Ukrainian e-book be published on these platforms. It also is a huge support, especially in the period of time when we have lack of paper books and lack of, it's not so quick, yes, to print the paper book and everything and do all the rest of the work. Another thing is the big tendency which was pushed by by the associations, the Publishers Association, the new grants and new grant programs developed in different countries for buying translation rights to Ukrainian books. It's a really huge support for Ukrainian publishers, and it's also a demand in your country, an answer on the demand in your countries from the readers who want to read about Ukraine and who want to know more about my country and who want to hear the real voices from Ukraine, real authors from Ukraine, yes, in their native language, and it will also help a lot. I'm totally applying to you about the idea of the festival-to-festival partnership, which we see how much Bologna have done to support Ukraine and how helpful it was for us, because it was like the tribune to speak about us, to speak about the situation in which we are living now. I am appealing to you, asking, let's do together the projects together. I am representing the Book Arsenal team. I am open to any ideas of doing together the festival projects. We can manage the events, we can advise you, the speakers, we can do some events together and make the Book Arsenal as a guest of your festival and so on and so on. So let's brainstorm new forms of cooperation in this situation. Of course, there is a demand for job and financial support as usually, but it's a more or less traditional way. I am asking to find more ways of cooperation and doing something together. It will help a lot.
Thank you, Yuliia. I think that each of us are ready for this negotiation, and Desi, she wants to comment.
I just wanted to add something. Yuliia, I would like to especially thank the Ukrainian publishers who already gave PDFs for free in order to have books for the Ukrainian kids. Even today I have received pictures of Ukrainian kids holding Ukrainian books in Bulgaria, and it is the most touchy thing that you can imagine, because you know that when you have a book is the only connection to home when you don't know if you have a home. And really big admiration for what you do, and looking forward to further cooperations and for the project about bilingual books that the Federation of European Publishers has started. So we're looking forward, we're here, and we would like to support you as much as possible, the Ukrainian publishers, but also the Ukrainian refugees abroad.
Thank you, Desi. Thank you. And in the name of Tbilisi International Book Fair, I can also say the same, that of course we are ready for any kind of negotiation. We are right now getting ready for the book fair, and I will slowly move to Tbilisi for speaking about our book fair as well, which will be held at the end of May, on 26th, 29th of May. And definitely we will be in touch with Yuliia and the whole team to find out the right ways how we can present Ukraine in Tbilisi at the book fair, because for our country, for our people, of course, this is really special. We have a lot of, maybe not enough, but plenty of books from Ukrainian translated into Georgian language, and even we will, of course, try our best to do more now in this situation and to offer to Georgian readers more and more Ukrainian writers translated into Georgian language. That will be really tiny thing what we can do, but I hope and I think really important. As for Tbilisi Book Fair, it was founded in 1997, so 24 years we will celebrate this year at the end of May, and I think that the exception when we didn't manage to hold the book fair was once in 2008, when we have the same what is experiencing now Ukraine. We had the war with Russia, and of course we were not ready for the book fair, but in pandemic, I should mention that we tried our best. In 2020, it was fully virtual, and in 2021, we decided to go in-person book fair, to go back, and we were a little bit surprised, but we found out that the readers were also ready for the physical event because they were so much longing for it, and so there was no fear. Of course, we tried to follow all the regulations, but we saw that they just wanted to come to the book fair because it's unchangeable format, it looks like, because all of us are bored with this online and Zoom meetings, but on the other hand, I think that this is also something new. What we have learned from the pandemic is, for example, right now Yuliia is with us, and we are happy that we have this option to offer and to have the people whom we can't maybe invite personally, somehow they can join us, so that's also important. Besides, in case of big international book fairs, I have heard for the small publishers, like Frankfurt or other book fairs, that the small publishers, because maybe of financial problems, didn't manage before that to travel for the international fairs, and then when it happened that it was like hybrid or virtual, there was an experience for them, an opportunity to attend the book fair and to see how it goes, what's happened, to be the part of it. So I think that maybe, I don't know how you look at it, but maybe it is the future also of the book fairs to have some kind of hybrid events, that we had more networking with each other, and to make it more international as it was before. Shortly, again, about Tbilisi Book Fair, we have nearly 1,100 visitors per year. We have nearly 100 participants. We try to increase, of course, the numbers of foreign publishers attending. For the Georgian publishers, this is the most important book fair, and we feel it always when we start preparing for the book fair. There is always a huge interest from the, so this is the virtual, we just had the stage and everything was happening from here. And we have also the focus country program. We started it 4 years ago. We had Germany, we have Norway. Dieter is here, he was responsible for Germany's focus country project at our fair. We had Finland, and this year it will be Turkey. Of course, we are very focused on our neighbor countries, and we think that it's really important. The focus country project is also increasing. I think that we really need it to bring the literature, to have this exchange from different countries, not to only focus on the local market, which is also, of course, very important. This is the picture from the 2021, when we had these regulations, and you see the big queue of readers standing outside waiting for their turn to enter. So we really need to work a lot to support and to push our society to read more books, and we see more young generation at our book fair, which is really important for us because we see that young people are reading, are interested in the process. And what we have done for several years already, we have created together with very famous Georgian actress the special project Actors for the Literature, and all the famous actors and actresses in Georgia are presenting their favorite books, really professionally presenting them, and it is one of the popular now part of the book fair in Tbilisi. So we need to do as much as possible to attract the attention of our society, because in education, in literacy, in reading is the future. This is how we small countries can develop and go ahead and in this very difficult geopolitical situation, survive. We need the education. So we think that book fair is one of the most important events which help us in these goals. My last question, you mentioned also the government already, but I really want to hear what kind of experience you have, because it's really difficult to hold such kind of huge events in the country without the support of the government. In case of Georgia, it's really hard because it depends on personalities. I would like to ask you if in your country the governments understand at least the meaning and the importance of books, literature. Do you feel this support, and what should be done? How you look at this? What should be done that we managed to show them that these are the most important parts of the country which should be supported, because on it depends the future of our countries?
I'll start taking a deep breath. Why? Because what we have as a support for the book events in Bulgaria, it's just about, we receive less than 10,000 euro only for the 2 literary festivals. So this is the support that we get from the state. We get a support in order to arrange the stand in Frankfurt, but we are so we are organizing it. It is not a support for our book fairs. So there is still lack of understanding that every book fair is actually a way to promote culture and literacy. So they are perceived like more of a commercial events rather than book promotion events. And we were fighting a lot of fights in order to have the book fairs, to have them at certain locations, because there was lack of understanding of importance of having books go to people and make them available, even collocating them where people are. So this is why we have this, as I have heard, you have also events that are outside of Bucharest. So we have the same, we have an event in Plovdiv, together with the Plovdiv Reading Festival, Manuel, that is organized by Jeanette 45. They have quite good relations with the state municipality, and they are receiving some support. But in order to have the book fair, we always have to fight some fights, either with local municipalities on locations, on how many stands we need to have. So there is still lack of understanding of importance of book events in reading promotion. And saying that, because we are talking states, we have a strategy on promoting reading, which was adopted in 2005. Can I ask you to guess whether something was implemented by this strategy? Unfortunately, not. Not at all, I would say. And there is this ongoing discussion that we need to have governments, especially Ministry of Culture, understanding the importance of books. If I need to complain again, we don't even have so-called department on books in the Ministry of Culture. So no ownership of the importance of books. And we had many conversations during which I was saying, actually, if you translate and promote books abroad, this is the best promotion of your culture.
Mihai, why creating new book fair by the government when there is one organized already by the professionals? Why the government has to organize its own book fair?
It's the government through the national radio organizer. The history is like that. The book fair was started by publishers who were picking the space inside of a governmental building, inside the national radio building. And then radio took over. I'm not going to go into the details, but that's what happened. So now but you should know, because we're talking about the support of the government, not even for that book fair, the government doesn't put a big hand and help. The Ministry of Culture, since 2007, I think, has been supporting our book fair, Bookfest, which is organized by the Publishers Association. And now they are like 15 to 20% of the budget, because they are supporting 15 to 20% of the budget, because we are together interested in not having a paid entrance. So we need a free entrance. But aside from that, the Ministry of Education has never issued an appeal, a public appeal to pupils, to school teachers, to come and visit the book fair, ours or theirs, the government, the national radio's book fair. So there's a total misunderstanding of what a book is. We are considered on the same level as, I don't know, cigarettes, alcohol. You don't have to encourage people to smoke, to drink alcohol, or to read books in Romania, of course, not in all countries. So they lack the understanding of how the future of a country is built. Once you don't have readers, in the coming future, you will not have proper jobs and people earning enough money to support your taxes and your budget. But this simple syllogism is too complicated for some of the minds in the government.
I think we have the same stories. Because we are a bit already running out of time, if there is any questions, I will ask in the audience. If not, we can go to the end of our conversation. So I hope that after this conference, maybe it will also give us new ideas. Maybe we can make some plans how to make more exchange among our book fairs, which is really very important. Of course, in this case, still we need some kind of financial support. It's always on finances, sadly, but it's a reality. But right now, here in Georgia, we're trying our best to get more and more funding for the private sector, because maybe it is some solution. We don't want to be dependent on the government and like the persons who has different ideas about importance of books and about the importance, of course, of freedom of expression, because sometimes it often happens that when the state supports, it means that then they prefer to control also. Not always, but we have to stand strong not to happen this. So I hope that we will come soon to Bucharest, to Sophia, and of course we will come to Kyiv. When the war finishes, Yuliia, I think that all of us would be happy and would love to come to Kyiv and maybe do our best to rebuild the country. We are going to help you in this, of course. So thank you for joining, and let's hope that very soon we will be celebrating in the normal way our book fairs, because first it was pandemic, which changed everything, and now it's Ukraine and the war, which also changed everything in a different way, of course. So I think that we deserved already that finally we had the real celebrations, and I hope that it will happen very soon. So victory to your country, Yuliia, and you should know that all of us, we are here for you.
We're struggling for this, and I hope that, yes, the we will win and we will meet all together finally. I wanted just to add one small thing about what you were speaking about, that probably you can show your governmental people the example of the great Russian culture where it moved the Russia, you know, and probably everybody should understand that culture matters and books matters, and we should think about the development of the book publishing, and we should help and support developing of publishing and develop the dialogue between the publishing people. And I do hope that we will have time to speak about this in Bucharest, in Tbilisi, in Sophia, and in other neighbor countries. Thank you so much for your support which you give us these days.
Thank you so much, and let's hope, and I hope that we will have Ukraine very soon in Tbilisi Book Fair as a focus country. We will be really happy to organize it together with you. So thank you so much for very nice and interesting discussion. And now it's time for other question. Okay, thank you. From Azerbaijan, yes.
Okay, nice to meet you, everybody here. I am publishing house from Azerbaijan, Galam Publishing House. We cannot stand outside Ukrainian war and decided how to help publishers from Ukraine. And we decided, we meet with Yuri Malchenko in Bologna and decided print some books from publishing from Soroka, I remember. And I think after 10 days we give books to Ukraine embassy in Azerbaijan. Slava Ukraine.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have done the same.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much for this. Thank you. All the kids who are displaced and, are refugees now are thanking to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we really finish our discussion on a positive message from Azerbaijan. Thank you to Baku. And now what we started with, the lunchtime, so much awaited. So please, you can go outside and on the opposite building, just enter the door and the lunch is served there. So we are back at what time, Tina? Exactly in 1 hour.
Thank you.
Thank you.